everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode of The Soft Life, which is why they ghosted you, how to heal, and how to not ever be ghosted again. So before we dive into that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And if you need additional support, grab our self-love journal or our self-love guide. It's free down below. We also have courses on manifestation, self-love, lifestyle design. Join our Patreon community, and we also have merch, the Soft Girl collection. So go ahead and grab your goodies down below. But with that, let's dive into the episode. So, you've been ghosted either currently or in the past. It's not a good feeling. It's really hurtful. It's very disrespectful. It just kind of sucks when someone you've either been in contact with just drops off the face of the earth and never contacts you again, or they're doing this sort of hot and cold behavior where they will pop in and then they will ghost you for months, pop in, ghost for more months, pop in. We've all been on that toxic roller coaster ride. So let's first talk about why they ghosted you in the first place. The first reason why they ghosted you is because of their own stuff. You know, if someone is ghosting you, they're responding and reacting to their own limited capacity, their own limited emotional capacity. And they're responding and reacting from their own triggers and wounded self. Now, that doesn't mean that you trigger them. It doesn't mean that you wounded them. It doesn't mean that it's something about you. It just means that something within them, for whatever reason, is being triggered. And they do not have the emotional capacity or the emotional intelligence to communicate to you what the deal is. So that's really why people are ghosting you. You know, it's like they say, hurt people hurt people. They're ghosting you from their own wounding and from their own limitation. But let me break that down a bit, because what I don't mean is that they really want to be with you, but they're ghosting you because of their own stuff. So just let them treat you poorly, let them ghost you, let them do hot and cold behavior to you. Don't hold them accountable because they're just wounded and that's why they're treating you this way. That's not what I mean. What I mean is a person can only react and respond from where they are. They're still accountable. You still need to have boundaries, and you still should not allow anyone to disrespect you. But don't internalize it and personalize it thinking that there's something wrong with you, and that's why this person is ghosting you. So a healthy individual would say, hey, you know what? It was really great to meet you, but I don't really see a future with us. You know, I wish you the best, and I just wanted to communicate to you where I'm at. And then you can do with that what you will. How you respond to that is up to how you are being as an individual. But to just ghost someone is very disrespectful and very hurtful. And hurt people hurt people. So that's the first thing to know, is that if someone is hurting you and disrespecting you, it is a reflection of who they are and where they're at, and not of your value and your worth and your lovability. Okay? So that's the first thing to know on why someone is ghosting you. People don't have to be with you and all of that stuff. You know, we all have choices to make, but they should be able to communicate to you what's going on in a respectful way. Now, here we go. So that leads to how we get wounded when people do abandon us or ghost us or leave us, right? Without a proper, respectful conversation, either as to why this is going on. It does two things. One, you can internalize it and you say, it's me, you know, it's something is wrong with me. And you start to think something's wrong with you because they ghosted you or abandoned you. Why weren't you good enough for them to stick around? And then two, it confirms your limiting belief that attracted them in the first place. Now, I know that I just said if someone is ghosting you, it's from their own wounding. Yes, their response is from their own wounding, but you attracting a person like that is from your wounding or your limited beliefs. And then when they ghost you or leave you or abandon you, then that confirms your belief that you're not good enough. People abandon you, people leave you, no one stays, you're not worthy of a commitment, XYZ, whatever the case may be. So now you're getting confirmation of that limiting belief, of that wounding within yourself that attracted the person in the first place. So now what are you to do? How do you get out of the cycle of, from my wounding, I attracted a person who abandoned me. And now because they abandoned me, that confirms I'm not good enough, right? It's a sick cycle. But instead of thinking it as a sick cycle, think of it as the most empowering information you can have. Because if it is your belief system that attracted a person who was in their wounding, right? And based on their wounding, they wounded you, then you can create a belief system to attract someone who is healthy. And they will then reflect and reaffirm and confirm your own healthiness, i.e., you knowing that you're worthy and you're lovable and you're valuable and you deserve support and commitment and everything else. So if your limited belief system attracted the unhealthy person, then your healthy belief system can start attracting healthy people. So don't think of it as, judging yourself or criticizing yourself or thinking there's something wrong with you. Be empowered with, if I created this circumstance, I can create a different one. So the way you create a different circumstance is you shift your self-concept. You really work on your lovability, how you feel about yourself, your self-love, your self-worth, and your confidence that you first get from you. That's really how you flip the script and how you flip the belief system. And I have tons of courses down below on self-love, and we also have the self-worth library. We have the free self-love guide. I have tons of content on how to up your self-love game and really start loving yourself, knowing your worth, and attracting healthy people because you are the healthy foundation. So we have tons of courses down below. Definitely check them out. But I'll quickly run through a couple of things that this will do for you. So number one, start showing up for yourself. Start loving yourself, start choosing yourself, start prioritizing yourself, taking care of yourself, start to soothe yourself in healthy ways when you find yourself being triggered by something. Taking care of you and loving you and not abandoning yourself is the first step to not have other people abandon you or ghost you. You don't need their validation. You don't need them to choose you or pick you to know your value and worth, because your self-concept is, I am worthy, I am enough, I am valuable, I am a priority, simply because I exist. So whether you choose me or not doesn't matter. When you get that unshakable self-confidence and self-trust, that really is the game changer. Because then it leads to number two, you start creating a new story about who you are. I am worthy. I am a priority. I am good enough. I am more than enough. I'm beautiful. I'm lovable. I'm worthy of commitment. You start to change the story of who you are. People always show up for me. Now, the people always show up for me, that goes into our number three. You then start to create a new story about how other people show up for you. So rather than thinking everybody leaves me, everybody abandons me, no one commits to me, I can't trust anybody, I have to always depend on myself, you start to think people show up for me. I am deeply loved by other people. People love to support me. People come into my life and they stay. People prioritize me. So you want to shift your story to creating who you are. I am good enough. And shift the story of how people show up for you. People support me. People choose me. People cherish me. People support me. People love me. Right? So that's really the core of how you want to start shifting your mindset and your belief system. Now, this creates a new truth of who you are. And then once you have a new truth of who you are that's rooted in your own intrinsic value, worthiness, and value, then when something happens, you respond from alignment with this new empowered version of yourself rather than reacting with the wounded version of you. And I'll tell you what that looks like. Responding from the empowered version of you looks like attracting people who are ready for commitment, who can communicate their feelings, who can show up for you, who can choose you, who can love you, who can be there for you, who can support you, rather than attracting people who ghost you, use you, hot and cold with you, gaslight you, abandon you, neglect you. It also looks like responding from your empowered version if someone does show up in your experience, if someone does show up in your reality and they're ghosting you, they're disrespecting you, they're not communicating with you, they're trying to use you. You respond from a place of an alignment with your empowered version of you, and you say, this is not the truth of how people treat me. So you must not be a person who is supposed to be in my life. So you easily let those people go on their way. You don't then try and convince them to love you, convince them to choose you, need them to want you so you can feel good about yourself. You recognize when you're not in alignment with who I am and with how I get treated, so you're not meant to be in my life. Bye-bye. Rather than reacting with the wounded version of you when someone shows up in your life and they abandon you, lie to you, ghost you, neglect you, use you. And instead of doing what the wounded version does, which is personalize it, well, and this must be about me. I must not be good enough. They identify with it and they internalize it. I'm not good enough for them to choose. I need to fix myself in order to be good enough for them. See, I told you, everybody leaves me. I can't trust anybody. I'm not worthy of love. Instead of reacting with your wounded self, that makes it about something being wrong with you. Your empowered version responds with, this is about them. This goes back to what I said in the beginning of the episode. The reason why people ghost you is because hurt people, and they are only operating from their own limited communication style, limited emotional intelligence, their own wounding, and their own triggers. But the less you are in your wounded version of you, the less you attract the people who are also in the wounded versions of themselves. So the more you work on yourself, the more you heal yourself, the more you love yourself, and the less and less and less you become reactionary to things from your wounded self, and you start to live in a place of responding to things from being in alignment with your empowered self, then the less and less and less you attract people who will ghost, who will abandon. And the more and more and more you will attract people who will reflect how you feel about you, and who will reflect everyone as you pushed out, that you know that people treat you a certain way. So they'll show up for you, they'll love you, they will cherish you, adore you, they will claim you, they will be there for you. It will be a consistent, reliable, steady, secure love. It won't be anxious. It won't be roller coaster. It won't be chaotic. It won't be destructive. It won't be toxic. It will be calm and steady and knowing. So as always, if you need more support, be sure to grab our free self-love guide. And we also have courses on self-love, lifestyle design, and manifestation. Join our Patreon community and shop our merch. Subscribe, like, and share. All of it is down below. And remember, if someone is ghosting you, it's because of their own limitation and wounding and triggering. It is not a reflection of your worthiness and your lovability. So remember who you are, and don't let anybody make you feel less than or unworthy. I love you guys, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye. Ready to unlock your true potential and manifest the life of your dreams? then I've got something super special just for you. Our mind-blowing self-love and manifestation courses. Picture this, a journey of self-discovery where you'll find a deep well of self-love and acceptance. Say goodbye to self-doubt and hello to unshakable confidence. Our courses are designed to help you embrace your worthiness and tap into the incredible power of self-love. But that's not all. We'll also dive deep into the transformative world of manifestation. You'll learn proven tools and techniques and strategies to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your wildest dreams. So get ready to create the success, happiness, love, and abundance that you deserve. So what are you waiting for? Head over to candywashington.com/courses to get started. Again, that's candywashington.com/courses.